Carbon monoxide is filling your lungs. How do you fight something you can't see, smell, or feel? This is how you break.
The silent killer doesn't announce itself. It simply waits for you to take your next breath. You're just trying to stay warm. That's all. The winter storm knocked out power hours ago, and temperatures inside your apartment have plummeted to near freezing. The portable generator in your garage seemed like the perfect solution. A lifeline against the biting cold. You've positioned it as far from the door as possible, but the garage is small, and you've left it cracked open just enough to run an extension cord inside. The first hour passes uneventfully. You're grateful for the space heater's orange glow, the way it pushes back against the chill. You don't notice how the air has changed, how each breath you take delivers less and less oxygen to your bloodstream. Carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless, tasteless, the perfect assassin. It binds to your hemoglobin with an affinity 200 times greater than oxygen, creating carboxyhemoglobin that renders your red blood cells useless. A mild headache begins to form behind your eyes. Nothing serious, just a dull pressure you attribute to stress from the storm. You rub your temples, take a sip of water, and try to focus on the movie playing on your laptop. The battery is at 43%. You hope the power returns before it dies. The headache intensifies over the next 30 minutes, spreading across your forehead like a tightening band. Your thoughts begin to drift, sentences trailing off mid-formation. You find yourself staring at the wall, unsure how long you've been looking at nothing. This cognitive confusion is the carbon monoxide's first obvious assault. Your brain, desperate for oxygen, begins to falter in its most basic functions. You feel unusually tired, despite having slept well the night before. Your limbs feel heavy, your eyelids drooping. This fatigue isn't normal. It's your cells starving for oxygen, your metabolism grinding to a halt as the poisonous gas saturates your bloodstream. You decide to lie down, just for a moment. The dizziness makes standing difficult anyway. Your breathing quickens, though you don't notice it. Your body is desperately trying to compensate for the oxygen deficit, but each accelerated breath only draws in more of the toxic air. Your heart pounds faster too, another futile attempt to deliver what little oxygen remains to your vital organs. A wave of nausea rolls through you. Your stomach clenches, and you barely make it to the bathroom before vomiting. The effort leaves you breathless, your vision swimming with dark spots. You collapse against the cool tile wall, confused about why you feel so sick so suddenly. Could it be food poisoning? The flu? Your poisoned brain can't make the connection to the humming generator just outside. Your skin takes on a cherry red hue, the telltale sign of carbon monoxide poisoning that you can't see. The color comes from carboxyhemoglobin, reflecting light differently than normal hemoglobin. It's a warning sign for medical professionals, but for you, alone in your apartment, it goes unnoticed. The confusion worsens. You try to check the time on your phone, but can't remember the passcode you've used for years. Your fingers feel numb and uncooperative. You tried 3 times before giving up, frustrated by this simple task that's suddenly impossible. Your brain, now severely oxygen deprived, is losing its ability to process information or form new memories. You decide you need fresh air, a rare moment of clarity in your increasingly chaotic thoughts. But standing proves nearly impossible. Your muscles, starved of oxygen and building up lactic acid, refuse to coordinate. You stumble, Catching yourself on the edge of the coffee table, the room spins violently around you. A strange euphoria begins to wash over you. This is your brain's final defense, flooding your system with endorphins as cells begin to die. The pain recedes, replaced by an artificial sense of well-being. You smile, though there's nothing to smile about. Your judgment is now severely impaired. The danger feels distant, unimportant. You make it to the window, but lack the coordination to open it. Your fingers fumble with the latch, unable to perform this simple task. You press your forehead against the cold glass, momentarily soothed by its coolness against your feverish skin. Outside, the snow continues to fall silently. Help seems a world away. Your vision narrows, the edges darkening like an old photograph. This tunnel vision is your retinas losing function as they're deprived of oxygen. The cells most distant from blood vessels die first, closing in your field of view until only a small central portion remains clear. You try to call for help, but your phone slips from your grasp, clattering to the floor. You reach for it, but your depth perception is shot. Your hand grasps at empty air inches from where the phone actually lies. Spatial awareness, another casualty of your oxygen-starved brain. Your breathing becomes irregular. Cheney-Stokes respiration, the medical term for the pattern of breathing that often precedes death. Deep, gasping breaths, followed by periods of shallow breathing or complete cessation. Your body is losing the battle to regulate even its most fundamental functions. Seizures may begin now. Your oxygen-deprived brain misfires, sending chaotic electrical signals that cause your muscles to contract violently. You have no control as your body betrays you, limbs jerking in grotesque choreography against the floor. You may bite your tongue, foam at the mouth, lose control of your bladder or bowels. Dignity stripped away in these final moments. If you're lucky, unconsciousness comes next. Your brain, unable to function on the minuscule amount of oxygen still reaching it, simply shuts down non-essential systems. You slump to the floor, unaware of your surroundings or the danger you're in. Your breathing slows further, your pulse weakens. But unconsciousness doesn't mean the damage stops. Even now, carbon monoxide continues its assault on your cells. Your heart, struggling to pump blood that can't carry oxygen, begins to fail. Arrhythmias develop, irregular heartbeats that further compromise circulation. Your kidneys shut down, unable to filter toxins from your blood. Your liver fails to process waste products. The brain damage occurring now will be permanent if you survive. Neurons deprived of oxygen for more than 4 minutes begin to die. The areas controlling memory, movement, and cognition are particularly vulnerable. Some survivors of severe carbon monoxide poisoning never regain their full mental capacities. Others develop Parkinsonism weeks later, tremors, rigidity, and slow movements that mimic Parkinson's disease. Your body temperature begins to drop. Without metabolism generating heat, your core cools rapidly. This hypothermia accelerates the damage, cells dying faster in the cold. Your fingers and toes may develop frostbite despite being indoors. The lack of circulation leaves your extremities vulnerable to the winter chill. If someone were to find you now, your skin would be cherry red, your lips bright pink, a mockery of health in a dying body. Your pupils would be dilated and unresponsive to light. Your pulse, if detectable at all, would be rapid but weak. These are the signs paramedics look for, the constellation of symptoms that point to the invisible killer. But no one is coming. The storm has knocked out power to the entire neighborhood. Emergency services are overwhelmed with calls. The carbon monoxide detector you meant to buy sits unpurchased in your Amazon cart, a digital reminder of a precaution never taken. In your final moments, your brain, desperate for one last chance at survival, may trigger a surge of adrenaline. This last-ditch effort might momentarily clear your thoughts, give you one final moment of clarity. You might realize what's happening, understand the mistake that's killing you, but your body, too damaged to respond, betrays this final insight. Your limbs won't move, your voice won't call out. You're trapped in a failing shell, aware but unable to act. Death from carbon monoxide poisoning is often described as peaceful by those who've been rescued at the brink. There's no struggle for breath like drowning, no searing pain like fire. Just confusion, fatigue, and then nothing. Your cells, unable to use what little oxygen remains, simply stop functioning. Your heart, starved of its own essential fuel, ceases to beat. Your brain, the organ that houses everything you are, everything you've ever been, goes dark. The generator continues to run until it's out of fuel, pumping poison into the air long after you've stopped breathing it. The space heater glows orange in the corner, warming a room that no longer needs warming. Outside, the snow eventually stops. The power eventually returns. Life continues for everyone except you. And when they find you days later, they'll call it a tragedy. They'll say you should have known better than to run a generator so close to living spaces. They'll point to the carbon monoxide safety guidelines you never read, the detector you never installed. They'll shake their heads at how easily it could have been prevented. But none of that matters now. You've become a statistic, one of the approximately 430 Americans who die from accidental carbon monoxide poisoning each year. Your story will be told as a warning to others, your mistake, a lesson in what not to do. The cruelest part, in your final moments of clarity, you probably realized exactly what was happening. The knowledge came too late. Your body already too poisoned to save itself. Your brain already too damaged to coordinate escape. You died knowing, and that knowledge was the last thing you ever experienced. The silent killer doesn't announce itself. It simply waits for you to take your last breath. Think you'd notice if your cells were suffocating. Follow for more invisible killers hiding in plain sight.
Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to help me make more videos.